Hi everyone, this is Arpad from the YouTube channel Starpath Academy, and today I want to talk about kind of the shift that I see happening in the world in the next 4 or 5 years. But before that, I have to let you know that in order to make videos more often, I'll just need to be able to make them from whenever and wherever I have time. I've just been very busy lately, but I'm trying to do more videos, so I hope that will work out somehow. So if the sound quality is not that good or the background is weird, please, just bear with me, I guess. So with that said, what I was pondering about is that, some of the previous crashes that have happened recently in recent human memory or history, right? And even during my lifetime, when I was young in Romania, right, during the fall of the Soviet Union, there were different type of crashes because, for one, it was a totalitarian system crashing. And I would say it was crashing outward. And what I mean by that is that as it crashes, more things get created. So you had this centralized big thing that was managing a bunch of stuff, right? And as it crashed like a flower, or think of it as a dandelion when it gets blown by the wind. It scatters. Things no longer work. People have to figure it out. But there's the free market, or there is opportunities created by that crash. It's horrible. It's bad. Well, I wouldn't say bad. It's not a convenient human experience to live something like that, especially if you're older. When you're young, things don't matter that much to you. But it's not something that anyone was looking forward to, because, well, in the sense that they were looking forward to the consequences later on, but nobody wants to go through it. So those were very different than what seems to be happening now. And I guess there's a difference between outward crashing and inward crashing or imploding. A system crashing outward, like the Soviet Union, falling apart, scattering, making opportunities wherever the pieces lie. Whereas an implosion, with an implosion, it's more of it usually is a deflationary crash, such as the Great Depression. So I'm seeing more of those traits, that if something goes on, and we have a economic meltdown, it will be more of a inward crash, more of an implosion crash. But so we have went through those as well, just like the Great Depression and some other empires falling. However, with those, the dynamic is a bit different, because when it crashes inward, it crashes from the edges inside, and usually the last one to experience the crash is the center of the empire. So, however, that's where the worst fallout is, I would say, because as the empire crashes, the edges experience sort of an outward crash, where they were controlled or maintained or managed by the empire or the center of the empire. But as the empire falls, the edges kind of experience that outward crash that I was talking about. Think about Kazakhstan or something like that. The Soviet Union falls, Moldova, Romania. We were experiencing outward crashes that suddenly there was this great need to replace a bunch of stuff that was centrally managed, but that created new opportunities for you to replace the thing that was falling apart. However, in the center, you have all these bureaucrats or have all these managerial class that had a solid income, right? Or things to do, which will no longer be there after the crash. So I just wanted to kind of wrap your heads around inward crashing and outward crashing. That's my terminology. I made it up as I was, looking at these things for a long time now. But now I think it's going to be a bit different, because now we're also experiencing almost an industrial revolution type of crash. In the sense of, just when the cotton gin or some other stuff was invented, it brings about new change. And now we have to mention this. Now with the more and more use of AI and deep learning and big tech being able to take over, jobs that were, I wouldn't say, not important. They were important, but needed a lot of man hours, are no longer going to be there. Think about, your clerks. You have to fill out this form, you have to put this in, you do that, you manage something. Just how the way of the bank tellers, there's a lot of other job classifications that, and now with AI, we're moving into many things, even, web page designers, programmers. It's not going to be, so their job is going to change, but it's not going away. What I'm seeing, it's going to take less and less people to do the same type of job. So either you're going to get skilled in using these new type of technologies, or you should probably do something else in the future. So now we have this inward crashing coupled with this AI boom we're going to experience. I think it's overblown in many cases, but it's going to roll out in the next 5 years tremendously. Just how apps can take over, whole fields of work. It's going to happen more and more often. So you have to kind of look out for that. So now, instead of an outward crashing where the system explodes and creates these small, minuscule jobs, opportunities for small business, that's no longer going to be there, because A, AI will take much of it, and B, we're being pushed into more of a digital experience type of world. Whereas, if you were this great guy with hands-on skills, I think you'll do okay, but you won't have the big opportunities that someone would have had after the fall of Soviet Union, because people are being pushed toward digital experiences with the VR headsets, with the more and more just online consuming media. The jobs that would create things that you would work with are now just phones. So, and that's centralized, that's produced somewhere deep in China. So you're not gonna experience that boom cycle after the crash, because people are being pushed into pods into their own living room, watching Netflix and shows and porn, and being fed this digital mashed potato of degeneracy. Let's just put it that way. And who are you going to serve then? If you're not going to be a weird content creator, towing the lines of forever politics, then you need to find something else. So I'm saying that you need to work hard right now, as soon as possible, to have a source of income that is not dependent on a current system, that is hard to replace by AI, and it's there whether there are digital experiences or not. So very utilitarian stuff that you have to think about. You know, people will have to flush the toilets whether they are living in the pods or not. Or the cables will need to run into the pods, right? So you have to think about these things, and I'll be here and we can think about these things together as we go. But just please think about these things, and think, especially if you're young, you're gonna have a lot of fun, to be honest. You know, when things are changing, it's fun for the young people. But you have to be lively, you have to be optimistic, and you have to be healthy. So do those push-ups every day, 30 to 50 push-ups, no questions. That's it, no excuses. So start with that. Eat healthy, you know. And the other thing, of course, the evergreen topic of being self-reliant for food. So that is going to be more and more important, because the less you need the system, the less you care what happens with the system, and the less you need to provide the system with your creativity, so the system feeds back some digital currency for you to buy, you know, the GMO food that they sell you. So, you know, look forward for some of these times, but do your best guesses instead of just looking backward. So I'm going to be sharing more experiences. I'm going to be hopefully talking more to you, but you have to make conclusions, best guesses on the trajectory of the outcomes that we're going to have based on what we have now, and make your conclusions that way, and be optimistic, of course. So until next time, this was Starpath Academy.